All right, you're on.
All right, peace and blessings, everybody. My name is Chrystal Tucker. Um, I'm just basically wanting to introduce myself a little bit. I'm from Washington State, Tacoma, but I was raised here in Kansas City, Kansas. And my topic basically is just transparency about my life and, um, from being blind to being able to create um, this art that you see in the background. All right, so it's basically been a long story. I'll say, about a good 10 years ago, I lost my eyesight, um, and it's just basically been a long journey and learning more about myself in the process. I had my daughter at an early age. I was about 17 years old, and just really thought that it was a good idea to move out. And I think if I would have stayed, I would have been able to grasp a little bit more about myself. But let's just go on and get a little deeper in that. I graduated on time in high school. I a little nervous first of all. Kinte, I might need you to come in just to kind of warm me up a little bit because um, this is kind of like
Mm-hmm.
something I haven't done basically. Like, I do radio, which is like in the background, but, doing video and stuff like that is something different for me. But, so did not even expect to be so nervous. But I'm sure like everybody who's done like podcasts for their first time, like they've been able to kind
Well,
of bounce back a little.
we're gonna be listening to your story. Your story is amazing. I can't even imagine. Like, I'm so crazy about my eyes. Like my a big fear is something that were to happen in my eyes, and the idea that you did lose your eyesight, and you then became more creative after that. It's an amazing journey. So when you say you lost your eyesight, kind of give people what do you mean by you lost your eyesight?
Okay. Um, okay. So I was basically getting at like, 17, I had my daughter, which was like a big transaction for me and or transition for me. Um, where I was doing basically what I wanted to do. And, you know, about 19, I got real bad health with diabetes type 2. And it was kind of hard to cope with it because um, I so badly wanted to be like everybody else, you know what I'm saying? But, as you continue to do what you want to do versus what's best for your body, that's where I, began the whole journey of losing my eyesight. Um, and also just thinking about like the different things I was trying to do on my own. I moved out of my mom's house at 18 after I graduated from high school, and I was just working full time. I was going to school full time and taking care of my baby by myself. So just really thinking about all the stressors that I was putting on myself, I really didn't have no time to take care of me or even know who I was. Um, so about 19 is when I was diagnosed, and I think I was in the hospital for about a week or two. It was really severe. Um, knowing that it was really strong, like on my dad's side of the family, I should have known, to be more serious about my health. But I did what I wanted to do. And so, anyways, I moved to like St. Joe, and I was in this relationship or whatever that I just basically didn't take the time to like go to school by myself and just experience the life, being on my own for real, for real. Um, and it just kind of trickled down to a lot of depression, um, stuff like that, just not being able to cope with my health at all. When I was in St. Joe, I started like really noticing that I had psych problems, especially when I was in school, different stuff like that. Um, it just really happened over the years, basically, my eyesight. It's kind of hard to explain.
Mhm.
Um, but it started like my right eye, and then it started at my left eye. Um,
Mm.
it was kind of real scary. Um, but I guess me also being strong, it didn't really stop me from like doing what I normally did. So I was still driving, you know what I'm saying? And I think that was just off of memory. Like
Right.
I knew where I wanted to go, so I wasn't really thinking like, hey, I can't see no signs, stuff
Right.
like that. Um, so, anyways, once I really had the eye issue, I was forced to move back down to Kansas City, Kansas, where I was from, and it actually happened right on time. I had it was like a big flood that happened out in St. Joseph. I remember telling you guys about it,
Right.
and I'll say like blessings in disguise. Over the years, really looking back, like stuff that's major will happen to you just to move you out of the way, and that's like a form of God's protection. I like to say it that way. Um, and my daughter was like about 4, 5 years old, probably a little bit older at the time that we had moved back down to Kansas City. And during the process of the eye issue, I started to like pick up the watercolors and stuff like that with my daughter, and found out that I had a hidden talent that way. So I didn't always paint. It was kind of like looking underwater, um, when I was having a hard time seeing. And that was the best way for me to explain to other people. It was like I could still see color. You know what I mean? And that was the blessing. Um, did you do any art or anything like that growing up?
I tried. I was terrible. I was bad, you know. I tried though. My art was through writing screenplays. My art was through curating art exhibits, but I have no artistic talent, visual artist. I'm not. I can't even draw stick figures.
Okay, so why you saying that? That's basically how I feel. Like the last time that I painted anything before all of this happened was elementary out of all years, right? And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about that. Like they told you step by step how to make a lion. I was like, I got you. I'm about to get this. It's in a bag. I already got the steps. By the time I was done, it looked like a flower. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this no more. Like, this is not me at all. And just using that experience with other people when I asked that question, they were like, I can't paint. And I kind of chuckled because I was like that for real. And it took for me like to lose my eyesight for me to even consider that. But I mean, like I knew how to sketch and draw and stuff like that from my ninth grade year. I just had all visual arts, so I got a little bit of um, knowledge of how to shade and everything like that. That was kind of fun. Probably would have made it big if I would have stayed there, but um, the high school that I was at, it was like allowing you to focus on your career goals. And so I went into humanities, which was, being around people, so kind of had me well rounded. And
One of the things that I love about you, Chrystal, is that we've all gone through challenges. You've gone through some extreme challenges in your life, but you always seem to have such a great way about you. You always seem very upbeat. From what the interactions I've had with you, are you one of those kind of people that just kind of looks at the brighter side of things? It seems like you keep a mainly positive approach to life.
that took time. I'm gonna tell you that much. Like, the health issue was basically, like I said, I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I gained like a lot of weight. So it was like self-esteem issues towards the end of my high school years. I was like over 300 pounds, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But I was still cute, and, but it wasn't cute when it had to do with health, you know what I'm saying? So um, it was a mental thing. Family just broke down and just stopped working. And I went into like the mental institute, you know what I'm saying? I really wanted to reach out to somebody because I was tired of feeling the way I was feeling. So it took time. But it was something, it was like a couple of things, we have that we keep under our belt that reminds us to, if we listen to this and we follow those steps, we'll eventually get where we need to go. And it was like something on the radio that said, if I change one thing out of my daily routine, it'll make a big difference in the long haul. And so I started parking far away, at my job and stuff like that, just to get a walk in, different stuff like that. And then when I really,
I had a homegirl who she would do that. Like if I rode with her, she would park away. She would park like a ways away for the whole walk, and I'd be like, "What they start shooting?" then we got a long run to get to the car. But anyway, that was my gripe.
It was worth it. It was worth it. Then I found out that it was nothing, because then I had to force myself. Like, if I really wanted to go eat at a restaurant, you know what I'm saying, on my break, I'm going to walk to the place versus driving. Yeah. So it was like, do I really want it or not?
Yeah, I suck. I drive. Look, I drive around the block. I drive everywhere, man. So I probably should, man. I'm gonna start walking more.
Trust, I need to start walking now. Like, I don't walk as half as I used to. Like, since I started working again, and that was like a whole nother hurdle. Like, I didn't work for like maybe 7 close to 10 years, you know what I'm saying, through this whole process. But I did a lot of walking, and I involved myself in a community. There was a lot of things that I felt like I was lacking in my own home, and learning more about like myself and my heritage, where I come from. That really inspired me to get out, and try to figure out like different ways to bring the community back and bring the family back together.
Yeah.
I went downtown. There was a lot of companies that were focused on after separation, the kids were separated, stuff like that. I wasn't about that.
Now, so now we can see in the background, we see beautiful art. Can you show us some of your work and tell us a little bit about it?
I can. I have one piece I probably should have bought little smaller pieces out, but y'all might have to bear with me on that part. Okay, so this one I did live on Facebook, which was really fun. I normally turn on music and just allow myself to express what I'm listening to and how I'm feeling, which is most of my artwork is expression artwork. Um, and this one is mostly most of my artwork. Their eyes are closed. It's learning how to be more in tune with yourself, and it actually became a lot deeper than that. Before I start to explain it, though, what are you guys feeling about this art piece?
I like the colors. It actually reminds me, her face kind of reminds me of the sun, the colors that you used. Um, like she's just taking a moment to take in the sun. Like nothing else is important, whether it's the pain or the frustration of life, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you just got to be still and feel the warmth. I see water on the side. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
everything, becoming one with nature, and I don't do that enough. So I know. But
you know what? It almost comes off as if maybe she's not actually there. She's envisioned herself in a happy place.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
So one thing about when I started painting and I couldn't see anything, and like I said, I could see color, right? Um, I would do like silhouettes. I wish I had those art pieces because when I moved back down from St. Joe to Kansas City, Kansas, I had like an apartment fire. So I lost like all of those, the first starters, you know what I'm saying? And it has so much emotion behind the art pieces that people would relate back to what my ideal was while I was painting.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew, like, okay, I got something special. I'm able to express myself, if not verbally. Um, I spend a lot of my time with my eyes closed, but I could still see everything. One example was it was my boyfriend was watching a movie and I had my eyes closed and my back was turned towards the TV. And, years after, I'm like, I remember that movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I watched it, but I knew that I didn't. And my mom said something to me. She was like, when you lose one of your senses, your other senses become stronger.
That is so true.
Yeah, but that ain't what I said. I was I was like, you're not me. You're not me. You don't understand. You know what I'm saying? But it ended up being that way. So yeah, it's finding that inner peace. Um, I was able to become one with myself and realize that every artist is connected in some way.
Yeah.
And that's where Art Unity Network started to really build, that it already is. There's some painting. Let me see if I can get to it without doing too much. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Pretzels.
Oh.
I have coffee brewing too.
Yeah, that's why I said I'd join you, because I was like, just in case. Ooh. Is she holding, or is he or they holding the sun?
Oh yeah, huh? It does look like it.
There's a lot of light going on. Yes. So this is called Truth and Light, and is basically, how we must protect our lights. You know what I'm saying? We all have a responsibility to be positive, you know what I'm saying, and be as creative as possible. And I got to meet a lot of wonderful people um, in the internet, you know what I'm saying? Like that was one way I was able to reach out to kind of getting to know myself, but getting to know other people and how they was able to, be a important aspect in the community. And I created that one during the sunset. That was real fun because that was like one of my first outdoor paintings. And
That's nice.
yeah, that was inspired by one of the artists that I have on a platform. His music like really inspired me so much and allowed me to kind of change my ways and my thinking, um, and like the actions that I was, basically going in the wrong direction with a lot of stuff. And so I'll probably put like links and stuff like that up from time to time, whatever inspires me. That's why I like networking a lot.
You know what? I just love the idea of that you lost. I mean, I don't love the idea you lost your sight, but when you did lose your sight, that not only did you get into something creative, but it's something visual,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that,
Right.
I know a lot of artists that have been doing it for 25 years with 2020
Yeah.
that are not producing work as good as your work.
Right.
So it really speaks to like not only it comes from your talent, it comes from your soul, it comes from your who you are. I feel like it's a very spiritual thing, your work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I'm really grateful for that part. Like it was kind of hard because nobody really knows what you're supposed to look like when you lose your eyesight, especially if it's not something that you was like born with. Where I didn't have a stick, you know what I'm saying? So I had to utilize my boyfriend at the time. I had to utilize my daughter as my eyesight, and it was crazy because, like I said, I was so bold. I was driving. One time I was at an amusement park, you know what I'm saying? And you know how that is. We don't like heights. And I was like, I closed my eyes anyway. I might as well go ahead and go down that slide or, the highest roller coaster and still have fun, and embrace life. So, my father, he was also a musician. So that played a big aspect in my life. Constantly hearing him play the lead guitar, And you was talking about Kinte, you was talking about the stick figures. He was like the stick figure king, okay? Like they had like houses and stories, and he do them stick figure birds, and you know what I'm saying? He kept me entertained. And at that time we didn't do like TV and different stuff like that. So every now and then I got a little BET in, but other than that, it was time to be creative, or either reading the book or be creative. So
yeah, it's something about I've worked with a lot of kids and stuff, and it's something about when you access that part of someone, how it opens up a lot of other possibilities, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever been around kids when they're painting, or they're doing something creative, like, and that was something that in past society was more like you got that. It seems like it's not as pronounced now. Like it's not in the schools like it used to be, and whatnot.
right.
I definitely suggest anybody who has kids, like, put them in an art class. You never know. Like,
Yeah.
I know I grew up with master artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Master artists, and most of them some of these guys are like in their 50s, 60s, or whatever. A lot of them got their training in like high school.
Yeah.
You know, that was back when you could get that in a high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of those programs got cut though. Like I think they stopped doing those after our era.
Right. Look, think about all the great musicians, like Motown musicians and the jazz musicians. They learned in high school.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of them were taught by you know, these wonderful teachers. And you know, it's just something about when you do something creative like that, whether it be art, whether it be crafts, whether it be, you know, just writing or whatever, it definitely fills your soul, and it makes you feel good too.
Yeah.
Now,
It's important. I think it's always it should always be the goal of art, whatever type of art medium it is, to make yourself and someone else feel something. To inspire, to encourage, to uplift.
even with me and my stick figures.
I mean, I'm here for it.
But it was cool. Like I understand. Like I really I try to give everybody like a one-on-one time when I do art, and it just depends on the setting. But I want to do more groups. You know what I mean? Like they normally do like sip and paint and stuff like that, but I really like to focus on the more healthier side of things, like, you know, how to implement more healthy foods, you know, how to listen to the spirit when you're painting. It might enhance your, you know what I'm saying, your mood and stuff like that. So I do try to uplift people and letting them know like colors do matter, and they don't necessarily mean what we were taught. But y'all learn more about the chakras and stuff like that in the body, you know, so the colors itself could be healing versus what we think that they are. I recently started a clothing line, which I'm really excited about, and I really want to be able to build the brand a lot more with the art pieces that I make, because I use so much color. My dad was like really big with don't leave a blank canvas, you know, fill it up. And so, you know, I took that by heart. So like this is like one of the examples of art piece that I made where you just utilize the whole space, you know. So I basically have these on hoodies now, you know, at teespring.com. And they actually turned out really nice. So, you know, these are like little things that we can make. And I think this one right here, I made this in 2013. So it's about the same time frame.
I really like that.
Me too.
Thank you. And so my family, we would have our little, you know, get-togethers and stuff with the artwork, and we would like turn it in different ways just to kind of see what we see, you know. And it was fun. So, but we know what it is. It just looks different when you turn it, and that's just how good, you know, abstract art could be.
Now, is that an 8.5 by 11 or is that 11 by 14?
I think this is an 8 by 11. So these are like the more smaller pieces that I have.
Yeah, I might need to get that off you, ma'am.
Keep my eye for my mama for it. Never mind.
I'm gonna pay for it
there. Okay. Thank you for your support. So it was another piece that I did with this one. You know, as you learn as you go, I've met so many different artists during the process of me being, you know, at the mental health. They had an art gallery, which allowed me to be able to express myself. And there was one artist that was teaching me about Hawaiian painting, where, you know, there's multiple paintings that tell a story. And this had to do with a wedding, after the wedding, you know, celebrating with your close loved ones, finally getting married. Like I did it, you know. And so just kind of learning how to tell a story with art pieces was one thing versus just creating. But I never really had a desire to look at something and try to mimic it.
Yeah.
And till I did this one, and then that's why I knew I could do it.
Oh wow,
And that just proved that I could.
Wow. And you're so prolific too.
Mother and her son?
It's my me and my daughter. She was I think she was like 6 years old, something like that. And it was a photo that we had. I was like, I wonder what it looks like to be asleep next to her. So I act like I was asleep and took the picture. And later on in the years, like a couple years ago, then I actually painted it. So
I like it.
Thank you.
Let me ask this question. I'm not a parent. Do you feel like how old is your daughter?
She's 15 now.
15. Oh wow, you had her when you were 1?
Thanks. All right.
No, but okay, so you've had her for a long time. So I was gonna ask you, after being a mother, did you feel like that enhanced or did anything for your creativity in a positive? I'm pretty sure not a negative way, but just from being a parent.
I took on my responsibilities right away. That's where I probably should have stayed in the home, like so that I could get the support because I was still a child. And that's one thing that I kind of regret because I probably wouldn't have been as sick as I was. But you know what I'm saying? You do what you want to do and you learn later on. But she allowed me to be grounded and stable. More focused on her than anything.
And she's an athlete.
And then she's very talented. She's like 10 times better than I am. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that you wish.
Yeah, she plays basketball, right?
She does.
Oh, look that one up. Let me see this. I like those eyes.
Wow, that is dope.
I love the color.
Yeah, kind of feels like a mask. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like she does art pieces every now and then. She has her own talent that she likes to do. So I don't try to necessarily force her to do any art, but when she was young, she was always making like little hands-on gifts for me. And I would take them and I would use them as a centerpiece whenever I had like an art gallery or something like that, which was nice. I'm about to see if I can change my Bluetooth. Just one moment for me.
No problem.
Like I said,
people are feeling your artwork in the chat.
It's cheap. Thank you.
And what did you say? It's what?
Okay, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
What was your comment? It's what? When he said people are feeling your artwork, what was your response?
Oh, I said thank you. But it was because my Bluetooth is sucked, so I had to take it off.
Chrystal. So I like Chrystal. Chrystal. Where you from originally?
I'm from Tacoma, Washington.
But you came up where though?
Kansas City, Kansas.
Kansas City.
Kansas. If you don't pay attention, she just said this like 3 days in a row.
I'm sorry. I'm old. Okay. I
need to let everybody know. Yeah.
Ginkgo over. or something.
Yeah, so
I've been
like,
up for 15 hours, 16. I don't even know.
Join the
oh, it's time to go to sleep. He might be sleeping next hour. He be like,
Don't do
I'm like,
not
push
push
him
him
out,
out,
Kinte.
He ain't been the only one that's been up that long. Oh, cut it out, Kinte.
You look fresh and refreshed, and you look
What y'all
like
taking power naps?
The game plan is this part of the segment is sponsored by Cherry Kombucha.
yeah.
Okay.
You look like you hit the club right now.
Is that, I was supposed to say, is that good? I was looking at it.
I only buy the ones that have less than 5 grams of sugar, but I tried this because they were buy one get one free. If you have this, I got it at Publix. I got this one, cherry and guava pineapple. This is bomb.
Okay.
I'm trying not to drink it all.
Going on now, yay!
I'm trying not to drink it all, but it's so good.
Shannon, you look like you with the club right now.
I stopped it. Did you get my message? I went to church and I was sitting there because I had to count today. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to watch the rest of you and Ramsey's show on silent. Yeah, right. No, it was loud. As soon as it came on, it was all this laughter. I was like, oh my gosh. It's so embarrassing.
Yeah. That's funny. One time I was in the post office and I had my phone and one of my podcasts popped on in the post office. Ooh. That was so embarrassing. It was clearly my voice. Yeah, it was being embarrassing. All right, so what do we have here?
At first I thought it was a fan until
yeah, church fan, right? Kind of looks like it. Or a shield.
So having that idea, like I be just making up art, like I don't look at anything. It's just literally drawing. This is stuff that people do, you know what I'm saying, at work, and don't think of it as anything other than I'm bored and I want to get out of here. You know what I mean?
It's and I just take Billie Holiday meets Memoirs of Acacia. It's kind of a combination of those two things.
Billie Holiday.
Are you talking about your drink?
No. Your picture. What?
Oh.
Your picture is more like a combination of Billie Holiday and Memoirs of a Geisha, like a combination of those two things.
I missed that. I'm so sorry. Like, I feel like I'm far away now as far as understanding who's saying what. Sorry about that.
And Maya said it looks almost like the Queen of Hearts. Yes, ma'am. I could go for that too.
Oh, nice. That would be fun. Recreating the cars. Now I've seen the melanin playing cars. I didn't really like the features on it, so I didn't purchase them, but I think that'd be like a really fun idea. And I really, want to be able to get into schools, like the school district, and really celebrate like the children, like they're already creating them, but they make better stuff than I do, and start early. Like I want them to be able to know what it feels like to celebrate what they're already making versus it just sitting in the hallways at the school, So I got little goals, little things like that or whatever. Like my dad always had like ideals and different stuff like that. And I didn't really get a chance to touch bases, that he really installed a lot of ideals, how we could reach out into community and stuff like that. And you didn't have to be like famous to do simple stuff to give back, I had an art gallery where I kind of showcased a couple of people's artwork with my own, but it was my actual gallery, and I loved that. I had named it Memories Lost and Gained, and the next day I found out that my dad had passed away.
Oh, wow.
And so it really prepared me, actually, It prepared me to like a journey of continuing his ideals and making sure that I can implement, resources back into the community. So it really helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for you, Chrystal? What can we expect to see? Um, what working on any pieces that are inspiring you right now? Any series sets? Any new characters? Because you had mentioned that on the test show that you were doing you wanted to do some other things. So what else is on the horizon for Chrystal T?
Some things I just can't share like that. I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way, but one thing that I already have out is it's on Facebook and it's called Women's with Benefit, which was the piece that I made for it. And let me see, can I line it up? Which was basically celebrating like our women, and having those groups with women, like the little head wrap socials, different stuff like that, and being able to be the brand. I wanted people to be able to speak on the different strong strengths and talents that they had and make sure that they had the support, social media, different stuff like that. So that's something that I'm constantly working on, is different ways for us to come together as women, because we take care of our children. Mostly we're single mothers, and for those who have husbands, is everybody basically have a role and then they're not by themselves. Yeah. So the children get to see what the mom is doing, in their profession, and the husband is able to be the backbone. But I just want to do fun stuff. Like, there's so many times that I don't want to waste my money on events because I'm not really getting anything out of it. Mm-hmm. And it's not really going to a real important cause at any point. I don't know where that money's going. And sometimes it's just like, I rather set my own events. So this is something that I'm still working on. Mm-hmm. And being involved like with social media just allowed me to know who to work with and who not to work with.
Oh, absolutely.
I just met a lot of people. Kinte was one of the people that I was able to meet through social media. But
you know what? I'm one of those people that when I see somebody and I like what they're doing, I just be like, we need to know each other.
Yep.
I think I might have been. I think that's how I came at Chrystal. Was like, we need to know each other. Tag you're it. Like
I'm like that. Yeah, right.
So
yes.
So, but
I'll start getting a little used to being on video, so it won't be so like, I don't know, starstruck.
It's a day at a time, ma'am. I mean, some days are better than others. We'll tell you that.
Look, it took me a while to get used to being on video with Shannon. I was starstruck too.
Cut it out.
So, but I realized she's just a regular person. She puts on her pants two legs at a time? How do you put on
no pants at all? How about that? From the waist down, I don't put on clothes. How about that?
You know what? I low-key wanted to do that, but I might get so tired I stand up and then y'all be me too.
Ooh, this is cute.
Oh, okay.
Let me find out. You over here inspiring Black love and things.
Yeah, looking like
paintings. They're called Trinity art pieces. So it's the balance. Where there is knowledge and wisdom, there is understanding. So I just do a lot of those sun and water pieces. Really found out how connected I am. I mean, how connected we are all to everything. But I don't know. I guess these past years, like, I really just understand a little bit more about myself, like how connected I really am. And then it just drew the art pieces. They all drew together. Same time. I wish I could see that a little better, but
a woman's backside. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of, she can jump in the water at any moment, but you can't see all of that.
No, that's her hair, yes.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. I see her backside. It looks like water in front of her.
Yeah.
I like it.
I got plastic on it, so it kind of makes it a little bit of
a little glare.
Hard to catch you, right? Yeah. Yeah. So I thank everybody for taking the time to like really get to know me and my art pieces. I did gain my eyesight back, through the surgery, you know what I mean? But it was trying. Like I take care of myself a whole lot better, reestablish being able to work, but at the same time I have my own business. So it keeps me moving forward because I don't want to work for anybody without a purpose. So I'm always networking with people and finding what resources is going to work in our community versus constantly giving money to Walmart and they're not able to give back, into our community. All of our communities are suffering at some point. And, I'm just basically that umbrella to help support what's already there and enhance people who might not think outside of a job.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. And, and I'm so glad that your eyesight is better, right? Much better?
Yeah, it is.
And you have very beautiful eyes, Chrystal.
Thank you. I'm looking all over the screen. Don't know where to look at still.
And I'm glad that you are doing your thing and you're inspiring people and you inspired myself. Who knows? Maybe I might do some watercolors. It probably will suck, but hey, I'll do it. So
we're gonna have to like meet up or something. I'll hook y'all up. Y'all gonna be painters in no time.
Okay, well, hey, I'm excited.
You got the poetry down, so that's gonna be the inspiration.
I know. I do a little artwork, Chrystal. I'm working on some projects with my poetry. So
nice.
You inspired me. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna do a portrait of Shannon. That's gonna be my first.
Cut it out.
That's my first one.
I can only imagine. You gotta work on the stick figures.
Do not encourage him, please.
He gotta work on the stick figures. It's gonna be dope. I can see it.
I can
see this whole writing about Shannon, drawing about Shannon.
I gotta get the glasses right though. That's the thing I'm worried about. I can get everything else right. It's the glasses.
You get them right.
Oh, those two, right? See, I got it.
So funny.
All right. So we're going to transition to our next program. For that, it's going to be Leah, the life coach, is going to be the main person. So I would hope that everybody will continue with us. If you please, Shannon, join us as well. Thank you so much, Chrystal. In 2020, we got to do a lot of collabs. So
right.
I know, like I love music, right? So I'm a music snob, though. So okay. I've been wanting to do like a music thing, for a while, like especially in my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse of music. Oh,
what's
man.
Wheelhouse of music? Hip hop.
90s hip hop.
Yep.
Okay.
70s soul.
Okay. I'm here for the 70s soul now. Come on, somebody.
90s. Not 90s R&B. There was a lot of great 90s R&B groups.
Yeah, there were.
Y'all can do something with me. Y'all can do something with me. I think that'll be fun. So y'all can be on my platform. We can do like a top 5, top 10, something like that. Just really bring the old school and some new school that some of us never even heard and see if it's, comparable, what I'm saying, or compatible.
See, I see Shannon's Drew Hill with Jodeci.
You're what?
See, Shannon, she can have Drew Hill. I'll take Jodeci.
I'll take Drew Hill.
90s R&B battle.
Body sleeping in my bed.
You know what?
In my head.
I love Drew Hill too.
The only
I
thing,
do like Drew Hill.
the only
I
thing,
do.
is, Drew Hill, they like what you like. I don't think they was talking about women in these songs.
I mean, that's fine. I'm still gonna sing it to my man though.
I don't think so. I think they were talking about dudes. I'm just saying.
Oh my
Clint,
God.
how
But
you
as
doing?
far as performance, Jodeci did a really damn good job. So you know what I'm saying. But I love me some Drew Hill as far as the music goes.
5 steps. Don't get me started. I don't even know why you brought this up.
Yeah, you might Jodeci, yeah. But,
Okay, so I guess
they win the alpha battle though for sure.
I mean, we could do a battle. We could do like a lip sync battle, man. Let me tell you, you gonna be close, Kinte. Sorry, these are my groups.
Where you can like they, you know, they do that battle where it'll be you have a group, I have a group, and then I'll play a song and you play a song, and then we'll see how long before you run out of songs. Like, you know what I'm saying, that are still popping.
Yeah, that's fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think I'll win that one.
I've got a feeling.
Okay. So let me know what y'all think. If y'all could go to AUN_radio, y'all can type it in at the top of the page, like just search it, you know, and just let me know what you think about the show itself. And like I said, I want to hear your top 5 and Shannon your top 5. That'd be awesome.
I have a top 5 of everything in life, so
Okay.
I'm a list maker. So I got my top 5 beverages, my top 5, you know, everything, man. So movies.
I mean, I could do that too, but at the end of the day,
top 5 people from Omaha, Nebraska.
You know, the top 5 people from Omaha, Nebraska. I can't wait to hear your list.
Well, that person who sends the credit card or the debit cards, they.
Hey, do we got a little time so you can see my daughter?
Yes, let's do that real quick.
Okay, come here.
Oh, actual daughter. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna show like a picture or something.
No.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Hey,
everyone.
Oh, look at the daughter.
My daughter,
Jayla. Look at the daughter.
Oh, she's pretty.
Yeah, very pretty. Yes, and I hear you a hell of an athlete.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to find different teams and stuff like that because I'll be going out of town, so it'd be kind of hard to find teams and stuff out of town.
What position do you play?
In basketball, I'm a center, and then volleyball, I'm a middle hitter and blocker. So everything I'm just like in the middle of because I'm the tallest and biggest. So yeah.
I mean, you better get Black Girl Magic.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that is so cute. So we love your mom. We
do.
She's a wonderful person.
Thank you all so much for the support. Peace.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for sharing everything. All right. So
see y'all next time.
Until next time, it's Chrystal.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Going to the next broadcast.